7:34 on TRAXXfm, and our guest today is Su Mei, an art therapist. And we've got to find out all about that. What is an art therapist?
So art therapy is a form of psychotherapy, but we use the form of creative visual art, so like drawing, painting, sculpting, collage,
Right.
in a very simple way to promote healing, expression, catharsis, and insight to people who have various different experiences in their life.
Wow. Okay, so I introduced you as an art therapist, and you have a longer title. Tell us about that.
So I'm actually an art therapist, family art therapist, yoga therapist, and arts-based supervisor as well.
Art space.
As in, like, I supervise other therapists
Uh-huh.
using art as a form of medium.
Right. Interesting. Okay, and where you from?
I'm from KL.
KL girl.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You want to say hi to any of your school friends or anything like that?
Just all my friends in KL out there listening, my mom and dad.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Good afternoon to them. What are they up to? Are they also into art?
My mom is really into art.
Okay.
My dad is a doctor.
Your dad's
so
a doctor?
I'm like the amalgamation of both of them together.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so did your dad not want you to be a doctor?
Oh, of course he did.
Okay. And what did mom want you to be? Whatever you wanted to
My
be.
mom wanted me to be an architect.
Oh, really? Okay, so now you've gone and done everything against whatever they've wanted, right?
Well, I did do a degree in architecture.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little bit there.
A little bit there.
Nice. But it's so important, yeah? Always having a good background. And, you can go chase a dream sometimes, like a musician would. But then you need something to fall back on. You think so, yeah?
Yeah.
It's important, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you first started getting interested in this, how did you get interested?
So I got interested in art as a teenager. Because like when I was a younger kid, I was not interested in art at all.
Could you draw?
I could draw, but I wasn't passionate about it. And I was actually more into sport and basketball.
All right. Well, how bad were you at drawing? I just want, so there might be a kid out there who might think like I'm hopeless. But when they listen to you today, they might think like, hey, she was hopeless too at one time. And now I can, and she did it. And then, right, KG?
Yeah, I remember studying art in school here in Malaysia, and it was all about drawing like rambutans and like water saving posters and all that kind of thing. I was just like not interested in it
Right.
whatsoever.
But rambutan with shading, right?
Yeah,
It's not an easy task.
Wasn't anything spectacular to be honest.
For you, huh?
For me.
Okay, and then?
And then I went to the UK when I was 15.
All right.
And I found that experience quite challenging for me because I was plucked out of my country and moved to another country. And it was just quite tough for me at 15. And then I did art as a subject. And art actually helped me understand a lot about what was going on in my life and like gave me a form of expression. It gave
nice.
me a chance for me to like let out my aggression and everything, like my teenage angst.
Wow.
Yeah, so like art actually helped me go through all those things. So like at an early stage in my life, before I knew there was a profession called art therapy, I was already expressing myself at that age. And it was at that time, because it was so powerful for me, that I started being passionate about art after 15 years old.
After 15 years old.
Yeah.
And you started getting into courses and all that, and...
I wanted to go and study art foundation. And my dad told me not to do it because he thought it was a gap year, and he told me Asians don't do gap years. But Art Foundation is not gap year. Art Foundation
He's dad.
is about learning all the different art forms that there are and all the different art careers there are. But I didn't get to do that. I ended up studying architecture.
Oh.
Yeah, so I studied architecture first,
Uh-huh.
and I really did not like it. But I finished it and co-founded an NGO building buildings for orphanages after that time. So we went to Uganda and Bolivia to build 2 buildings for those countries and the orphanages there. And I actually ran some art workshops for kids during that time.
Rock and roll.
And that was when I realized that I would rather work with people rather than work with the building. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice discoveries along the way, yeah? And new, what do you call that, enlightenment for you.
It was a really powerful enlightenment, but it took me about 10 years since then to realize that there was something called art therapy because I didn't know there was this profession out there called art therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now when you're doing what you do,
Yeah.
you're helping people heal
Yeah.
through the power of art.
Yeah, so I work specifically with people who have disabilities and mental illness, using art as a form of creative expression and healing.
Right.
Yeah.
And you get very good response from people in Malaysia?
I actually am based in Melbourne,
Okay.
not Malaysia, but I also have clients in Malaysia.
Right.
And I come back regularly to KL to run workshops.
Right.
And see my clients who are here in Malaysia, but I work online as well.
So who runs the place here?
So I don't have a physical place here.
Okay.
I just kind of work out of like Mereka. You know how Mereka was a place where I ran workshops there, and Mereka.io was a platform that I put my workshops up there. And I ran 2 workshops there at the Mereka space in Publica, and that was very well received.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are you teaching people?
I'm not teaching. So art therapy is not about like, teaching specific skills. You don't teach people how to draw well or anything like that.
Okay.
It's more of like how to express themselves and how to heal themselves through simple art making techniques.
Example?
For example, we might get you to draw with both hands and tune into your breath while you do it. And then after that, I get you to look at the picture and like look at it as though you're looking at clouds to see what you make out of the meaning from the picture.
And you kind of like you tell them, you guide them onto what do you think they're thinking?
Well, it doesn't matter what.
Can you do that in KG now? KG, can you draw something KG for her? Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you can't draw or not.
I want to know what he sees when he sees clouds.
It is about what he or the person who's drawing, the artist sees. It's not about what I see.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you
I will
see?
never interpret. I will never interpret the artwork for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, KG, I can imagine.
It will just be a lot of black.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
right? There's a message in everything, right? And you interpret it the way you do.
Yeah.
But how you got to guide that person, right? I mean, not everybody's like as gifted as you to understand what's going on.
No, it is really about where they're at in their kind of self-discovery as well. So like if they are able to kind of like make out what the meaning is for themselves, and often it is about like how intuitive you are, how you're able to like tune into your intuition.
Right.
And that gets stronger and stronger as the more art therapy you do.
You do, right? And amongst others, what other kinds of art therapy do you do?
So I do mainly visual art therapy, which is like drawing, painting, sculpting, collage,
Okay.
visual arts. But I also do a bit of movement because I love yoga. So I'm a yoga therapist as well.
Yeah.
So I do incorporate some somatic movements into my sessions sometimes. Just like simple movement, not anything that is too strenuous on the body.
Okay.
But like I don't know if you heard the trauma specialist Bessel van der Kolk or Stephen Porges, where they say that the body stores a lot of trauma and our body actually stores a lot of emotions and stuff. And to be able to like move your body in different ways can actually help release some of that.
Yeah.
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 All right, yeah. So from what I can see, that you do healing through the healing through your arts, right? Do they only target mental health, or is it also physical as well?
Well, I think yoga and anything physical.
Well, we can target physical as well, especially because some physical ailments in the body can be related to mental as well. And that is where the psychosomatic movement comes in. That's what it means, like psycho, mind, somatic movement. And that is like very strongly linked.
Right.
Yeah.
So all that put together. And how did you come to know all these things? What was your journey like?
So after I studied architecture and did the charity work, I did yoga, and it was actually through my own mental health struggles. 'Cause, like since moving away and stuff, like I developed quite a lot like my own mental health struggles, and like I was exposed to it in one of the hospitals that I was at, and there was an art therapist there working there. And I wasn't actually well enough to engage in the art therapy at that time. But later on, when I was working as an architectural assistant in Sabah, actually.
Okay.
KK. I looked at a book and there was something called like art therapy. It was a book about like all the different arts professions that you had. Because
Okay.
I really wanted to do art. I really wanted to make art, but like I just didn't want to sell my art. Because that's a big thing.
Okay.
Because like it's a very niche field to want to do art but not want to sell your art, because art was so sacred to me and I never wanted to put a price on my artwork. But then I saw the word art therapist in the book, and then I remembered that I was exposed to this art therapist in the hospital when I was there. And so I started Googling and looking at art therapy courses and stuff. And it was only like 10 years since I finished architecture, and then like until I embarked on my journey to be an art therapist in Melbourne, 10 years since then, that I only started doing the Masters of Art Therapy in Melbourne.
Right.
And since then, like, I just kind of like worked there. I worked full-time alongside starting my private practice. And then now I've just gone full-time into my private practice last April.
Right. So anyone looking for you, how do they look for you?
You can find me online. My website is arttherapy.com. TEARAPY, because I love tea.
Okay.
Yeah.
TEA?
Yeah. RAPY.
Okay. Tea,
Yeah.
because you love tea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Or
See,
like
it's so good to be the boss, isn't it?
You just have tea all day.
Yeah. And you get to name it. You get to name it anyhow you like it. I like tea. That's it, right?
Yeah, it's like a pun on art therapy, and everyone always thinks that it's arttherapy.com, but it's not. And you can find me on Instagram as well, art.tearapy.
Okay,
Yeah.
get that one, yeah, folks? And look her up right now as we talk to her. It's Su Mei in the studios over here. She's an art therapist, and it's healing through creative arts that we're talking about. When we talk about, what do you call that? Art and everything, right? It's like it's such a broad thing. And how do you narrow it down towards more of what you do exactly?
What I do is specifically not technical. So it's not about teaching a specific art technique, but it's about being led by the client or the person who's making the art to kind of let them fully express themselves, to kind of help them facilitate their own healing themselves.
Right.
So it's very different from an art class, and it's very different from like a psychologist, because a psychologist would mainly rely on talking, but art therapy, we can work with people who don't want to talk and who cannot talk. So like I work with people who are non-verbal as well, clients who are autistic, clients who have selective mutism, and anyone who just like struggles, maybe who are anxious and don't want to talk, we can work with them through art making, and then that can facilitate the healing as well.
Right. And you've become such a good communicator with different kinds of people, right?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
I just love connecting with people. Like even in my day-to-day life, I always just love meeting people, meeting new people, connecting with my old friends. Like I've known people in KL, even though I've lived away for like more than half my life, I've still kept in touch with so many people here. And like, I'm just grateful for everyone for being so supportive. And to be able to communicate is like such a important skill to have that a lot of people actually struggle a lot with. And to be able to facilitate that, to help people do that, and not necessarily have to do so with a verbal way, to be able to do it in a visual way or a movement way is so special.
Right. And okay, we want to know how someone listening in right now can you know, like maybe just using things that they can find around them.
Yeah.
Some everyday item. I mean, what can people do for themselves to experience this art therapy you're talking about?
Yeah. Okay, so we can just get them to hold 2 pens or crayons with both their hands, and then just start drawing and just moving their hands with the breath. Just tuning in to the breath, drawing with both hands, and allowing the hands to just move alongside themselves. and just really dropping in to ground themselves, and allowing the hands to just move, both hands at a time, tuning into the breath. And then when they're done, just finish it. And then just picking it up, putting it on the wall, and looking at it, and just try to visualize what you see in that picture. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's that breathing part that's
Yeah.
nice, isn't it? So like, what's the pattern? Is there a pattern that they have to breathe to, or it's just basically inhaled?
Well, in that particular one, it's kind of like synchronicity with the hand and the breath. But like if you want to kind of have like a more structured breathing technique,
Right.
you can do like breathe in for 4 breaths, hold for 4 breaths, breathe out for 4 breaths, hold for 4 breaths. And I usually do that when I'm nervous. Yeah,
So you can go on the upstroke and you can
Yeah.
breathe out
Yeah.
if you want to.
yeah.
Don't you?
You art therapist.
Look, no, come on. She's explaining it, right?
I mean,
So it's your breathing. So
For a moment there, I really felt quite calm.
yeah, did you hear that? She was going like, Oh, sorry, I've got Kyokushin karate. They've got the and I can see that. Yeah. And there's what we would hand movements, Kyokushin karate, and their breathing is so important to them.
Yeah.
And just likewise, you're teaching this breathing over here. As KG said, he felt calm, not even doing it. And you put yourself over there on the table and you were doing it. And I saw you had a few moments over there. If I left you a bit more. Right? So, yeah, people need to find out more about this, yeah?
Yeah.
And what other things can be very interesting for someone who just wants to experiment a little bit, and then maybe they can go delve in later on their own.
Well,
But for now,
one thing that I find about that technique is that sometimes I give them an intention before they start. So I do like a meditation before they have, and then get them to set an intention. And then when they look at it, their mind subconsciously goes back to the intention. So a lot of the time, what they see in the picture, and I get them to turn the picture 4 different angles, to look at it at different angles. It's kind of like looking at your life from 4 different angles, and then you can see the progression of like where your intention kind of leads, and you can get quite a lot of insights through that.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you've put a lot of everything that you've gone through in your own life, like you said, how you have to travel and all that, and you've become who you have become today, and you've become a lot more peaceful you with yourself, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that helps a lot of people out there, and there are a lot of people who can use that help, yeah?
Yeah.
So find out more by going to your website or your Instagram. You
Yeah.
had some stones that you were coloring earlier. What was the pictures that she had over there?
She had colored stones. They look almost.
Yeah. Tell us about, was it colored stones?
Stone.
Yeah.
It was on your Instagram.
You don't remember your colored
I think
stones?
maybe we'll talk about that after 4. Maybe you'll find them.
No, we'll talk about those stones now.
Pottery.
You had some pottery going on
Yeah.
as well, right?
Yeah, I'm
And-
mainly a potter nowadays. That's my
You've been-
preferred art form. Oh, that's not a stone. That's my painting.
You horrible person,
Yeah.
KG.
It was a stone.
That's a painting of a women's circle. Because
Oh.
we're going to be doing a women's circle this next Saturday.
Right.
With Rora Vora in PJ.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Rora Vora is a stone specialist.
Oh,
So they
lovely.
have crystals.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that one, yeah. Well, what about painting stones and all that? That's another form of expression.
Well, a lot of art therapists like to pick up rocks and just paint it, but that's not really what I do that much.
That's more like something you just keep
Yeah.
you keep and
Yeah.
admire for some time after.
Yeah, and especially because I'm in Australia, it's quite sensitive to pick up stones there because you never know whether it's like indigenous land and that kind of thing. So I don't, I rarely go and like just pick up random stones.
Right. We'll send you some stones from
bush.
Malaysia. We've got,
Yeah.
we've got big ones, small ones. Yeah. Okay.
But I do paint pottery.
Okay, pottery.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's therapeutical, would it
Yeah.
be?
Oh,
To
probably
actually sit down.
so
Look at that movie
therapeutic.
Ghost
Yeah.
with Richard. What's his
Yeah.
name? Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
And who's that? Demi Moore.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and she's got her hair like Demi Moore. Look at her. Right? And then you do the pottery and all that. Right?
Throwing. It's called throwing on the
Throwing.
wheel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to find out about that. Okay, hang in there. We've got the news coming up. And then Daniel Baharuddin will be reading the news for 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then we come back and we talk to our guest again. Her name is Su Mei. She's an art therapist this afternoon in the studios of TRAXXfm for In 34. And it's an absolute pleasure to have her here. So just stay tuned. The news is up next on TRAXXfm.
heard some of the parts just now. It's
Right?
so nice,
And-
especially
and
the breathing one.
The breathing one. You
Yeah.
found that. How did you find that?
I've even in the Conti here, I really found it like very calm. Even like listening to some, I think I'm not so sure who was breathing just now.
It was her. It wasn't me. I
so-
swear.
So it was so calming. So I was like following the breathing. I was like, this is so calm. Yeah.
See, you want to hear my breathing?
Chaotic. That's some chaotic breathing, I guess.
Well, I get it's a different mood, you know. It
Yeah.
gets you going.
Yeah, it is. It does.
Right. What's your question for Su Mei, if you have one?
Well, yeah, I just want to know about, if let's say we are in a state of chaos, let's say, like there's a lot of things that are happening in our life at that moment of time, what kind of like art therapy that is good for that?
I think what we just did earlier would be good for that, especially tuning into your breath and doing the box breath, inhale for 4 breaths, hold for 4 breaths, exhale for 4 breaths, and hold for 4 breaths, and then you can do the drawing with both hands during that time. And
She's
then
like going circular and stuff. Yeah.
and the point is to like slowly increase the count. So like from 4, you might go to 5.
Is
to
it like
6.
4 seconds? No, not really.
4 counts. So
oh,
like,
4 counts.
like
Okay.
inhale 2, 3,
Oh, okay.
4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, hold. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel calm though.
Ah. Did you hear that chair going? As well. That was another piece of art over there. It's like, this is the what? The extended remix. Huh? All right. Okay, Daniel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You take care, bro.
You too.
Daniel.
All right.
Bye.
So back to our guest again. And what's happening over here? How do people get the chance to see you in action?
Well, I'm going to be in PJ next Saturday doing a women's circle and art therapy workshop with Rora Vora. And that's going to be 3 till 5 p.m. there. So if you want more details on that, you can find it on our Instagram. So art.therapy. Yeah.
All right. So anything that people should be bringing along as they come?
Don't have to bring anything, just bring yourself.
Bring
We'll
yourself.
be set on the floor in a circle, and then we'll provide the art materials. I might even bring some tea
Nice.
for like tea ceremony. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Some tea and stuff. Yeah. But okay.
Yeah.
But forget that. But be there again. Sorry. The location once again.
Rora Vora.
Okay.
RORAVORA.
Right. And time?
3 to 5
3 to
p.m.
5.
next Saturday,
Okay.
29th of June.
June.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, so you'll be there, yeah? We've got Su Mei in the studios over here, art therapist. Okay, and then what are you looking forward to with yourself and your career as it goes right now? What do you think is exciting for you?
Oh, recently I've just started a new form of creative expression where I started a fashion label for myself.
Fashion label.
Yeah, so I created, because I travel a lot all over the world. So I collect fabrics from different countries and I turn them into cheongsams.
Oh.
Yeah. So this label is called Su de Chape, SUDECHABEI, and it stands for Su's Cup of Tea in Mandarin.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything's about tea with her.
Yes, everything's about
Are you going to start having your own tea and then,
now.
No, no, your own company producing tea.
I don't think I'm into like producing tea. Like tea for me is about like the connection that's
Right.
made when you drink it.
Okay.
And when I was in school in the UK, we always used to drink it when like people broke up with their boyfriends
Aw.
and had bad exam
Tea.
results and stuff like that.
KG, can
Yeah.
you imagine? Can you imagine us over here, right? Annette! Dia tarik satu. Oh, the fellow heartbroken already. Heartbroken already.
Tambah manis.
Right? Yeah. So, tambah manis. It's really heartbroken. Oh, okay. So tea associated with that for you, but not the
Yeah.
Japanese cha, no.
I love Japanese tea. I love sencha and matcha, the matcha tea ceremony.
That should be,
Chinese
right?
tea, Chinese tea ceremony.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you incorporate that in your art therapy?
Absolutely, yeah. I do
You
the
do?
Kung Fu cha tea ceremony sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
I find that to be very, that ceremony you do.
Yeah.
That's why, like, the Japanese, like, the men, do it for the wife and all that as a sign of, like, forgiveness, I think.
Yeah.
When it comes up, when fella, boo-booed. Sorry, baby. Correct? Yeah. Okay. All right. So how do people go about finding more and actually for themselves, yeah? and to go from one step to the next step? Should they be worried about like this is so deep and things like that? But how do you recommend that they take it step by step?
I think if you really want to explore art therapy, it's best to do it with a professional art therapist.
Okay.
Not just by yourself. Like you can make art by yourself and that kind of thing, but I would not try to be an art therapist on your friends or anything like that. In KL, there are quite a few different art therapists around, and if anyone wants to find out who they are, they can contact me and I can put them in touch with some of the local art therapists in KL. And then also I also work with people online, and then every time I come back to KL, we can work together as well. So like for me, when I first started learning about art therapy, I actually went to an art therapist here in KL to learn about like what the profession is and how it can help my healing and stuff like that.
Is that the way all wannabe art therapists? Is that what they should do? What should they do first?
I think art therapists, people who want to be art therapists first should go and see an art therapist as a client, just to see what it's like from the client's perspective. And then after that, they can apply to go and study one of the courses in art therapy. And usually the closest one, which is a master's, because like to be a professional art therapist, you need a master's in art therapy. And the closest one is in Singapore. Yeah. Yeah.
So for someone who's like a brand new, okay, there we go. So someone who's like super brand new, like can they just should they be apprehensive, like, oh, I'm a brand new beginner and I'm going to join an art therapy class or something like that? Should they be apprehensive, or should they just just empty their mind and go there and just follow what's said?
I think sometimes when people are apprehensive, it's not something that they can control. So but like you can go into it knowing that you don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be good at art when you go to an art therapist. And I forgot to mention that actually in Malaysia, under the Malaysian Art Therapy Association, you can actually get into art therapy through counseling, and then through counseling you do maybe a diploma in art therapy in one of the local places here that offer certificates in art therapy. So you can do that too. But like in the international stage, you do need a master's in art therapy too.
Right.
Yeah.
Family art therapy must be quite fun.
Yeah, because I did. I started studying clinical family therapy as well. So now I actually offer families art therapy from a more what we call systemic perspective.
And then group, of course.
Yeah, groups as well.
Companies
Yeah.
can do that for their, instead of sending their what do you call it, their staff off to a holiday somewhere for 3 months and come back and everybody gets rejuvenated. There are actually things you can do with art therapy.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to be providing professional development for a group of psychologists in Melbourne, where I do an art therapy workshop for them, just for them to learn about what art therapy is as well. And it will be fun for them as well.
Fun for them.
Yeah.
Easy for you to think of things to do with them. They'll be like, all right. I know they'll be like, all right, so she got us doing this. According to page 44, she must be this spectrum. Yeah. Oh, okay.
They can analyze as much as they want.
They want to, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're just gonna be feeling good and right?
Yeah.
And it's healing through art therapy that you're trying to spread that message. Yeah.
Yeah.
So over here in Kuala Lumpur, as well as in Australia, they can look for you.
Yes.
And let's do that one more time. I want to make sure everybody gets to, because you don't have enough time and what do you call that, to actually show people a lot more of what there is behind everything that you've been talking about. And that one little example earlier with the drawings and the breathing, is just the tip of the even the little bit ice cube.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot more that you need to find out. So tell them once again where, please.
My website is www.arttearapy.com, and Instagram is @art.tearapy.
And next week you said, when's your event again? Next month?
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday?
29th of June.
All right.
3 to 5 p.m. at Roravora.
Rara.
Roravora.
Roravara.
Yeah.
Yeah, sound like you're drunk. Roravara. Right? Thank you so much for being here, Su Mei.
Thank you.
And we look forward to hearing a lot more from you. Come back and give us some new stories.
Yes.
And some new things that you've gotten into. I don't know. Maybe you'll be painting rocks or something.
Maybe.
Big rocks. No, don't go for small rocks, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.